Hello and welcome to Forestedge Kart Club on the 2nd of October 2022. It's time for round 3 of the Two Counties Kart Club Championship, and it's the first time the Blues have been on track with their new seeded numbers after the grand finals. Both the junior and senior classes are up ready to go, the juniors being run off the back of the seniors for this round with a few seconds delay at their start. In the juniors standings so far, it's going to be Sam Mitchell leading the way ahead of Reese Reed, Jimmy Bradfield in third, with Mitch Carpenter leading a three-way tie between himself, Rudy Winslow Morton and Ben Gillett, and Jamie Dart's going to be rounding out the class in 7th spot. In the senior standings, it's Joey Foster, number 66, leading the way, Mike Bell in second, only 2 points behind, with Anthony Cleal and Kieran Quirk even for third. Kevin O'Neill's going to make up the top 5 ahead of Paul Alexander, with Chris Underhill, Rob Mortimer, Steve Groves and Ron Schoen making up the top 10. Schoen tied with David Waldron and John Hartshorn, but ahead of them on countback, with Martin Wheeler 13th and Robin Stones and Harry Smithson even on points to make up the top 15. Phil Shears comes next ahead of Paul Dybel, David Good, Tom Parker and Max Gunter make up the top 20. In the Blue Masters standings, it's Joey Foster leading the way ahead of Anthony Cleal, Kevin O'Neill is third ahead of Paul Alexander, and Steve Groves is going to be tied on points with Chris Underhill and Rob Mortimer. David Waldron in 8th ahead of Ron Schoen, with John Hartshorn making up the top 10 ahead of Robin Stones, David Good, Phil Shears, Alex Kemp and Paul Dybel. In the Blue Veterans standings, it's going to be Anthony Cleal leading the way with 0 points ahead of Kevin O'Neill. Paul Alexander is third ahead of Steve Groves and Chris Underhill. Rob Mortimer 6th ahead of David Waldron, Ron Schoen, John Hartshorn and David Good making up the top 10. Phil Shears and Robin Stones even in 11th ahead of Paul Dybel, Mark Cook and Chris Lohr are going to be completing the top 15. And in the Blue Legends standings, it's Kevin O'Neill with currently a perfect season. Chris Underhill's his nearest challenger in second ahead of Ron Schoen, with David Good in 4th, Robin Stones and John Hartshorn even on 5th. And in the Blue Top Weights, it's Tom Parker leading the way with Ron Schoen second, Rob Mortimer third ahead of John Hartshorn, Phil Shears and Paul Dybel even in 5th spot. In Heat 1 today, it was a wet heat and Joey Foster would take a good win ahead of Anthony Cleal, Harry Smithson third ahead of Mike Bell and Steve Groves making up the top 5. Reese Reed, a flying performance from the junior, finishing 6th overall ahead of Paul Alexander, with Alex Fortune, John Hartshorn and Kevin O'Neill make up the top 10. Mike Bell would win Heat 2 ahead of Anthony Cleal, Harry Smithson third once again ahead of Alex Fortune, Kevin O'Neill, David Waldron, Fred Powell in 7th in his return to Formula Blue ahead of David Good, Max Gunter and John Hartshorn. Reese Reed would be the top junior once again. And Heat 3 was won by Anthony Cleal with Joey Foster hot on his tail, Alex Fortune third ahead of Steve Groves and Mike Bell, Paul Alexander 6th ahead of Kevin O'Neill, David Good, David Waldron and Alex Kemp would make up the top 10. Once again, Reese Reed winning the junior class ahead of Rudy Winslow Morton and Mitch Carpenter. Those results would form the grid. Anthony Cleal, the new number 1, retaining number 1, lining up on pole position alongside of the new number 2, Mike Bell. Alex Fortune third ahead of Harry Smithson, with Kevin O'Neill and Steve Groves making up row 3. Joey Foster starting down in 7th after a DNS in one of the heats. Paul Alexander alongside him ahead of David Waldron, John Hartshorn, David Good, Max Gunter, Alex Kemp and Ron Schoen. Few non-starts behind, including Frederick Powell, Tom Parker, Chris Underhill, Mark Church, Robin Stones and Chris Lord. And it's Reese Reed, Rudy Winslow Morton and Mitch Carpenter for the junior class as Reese Reed backs them off. But the seniors through the cut through now. Look for Anthony Cleal, look for the lights. And here we go. Round 3 of the Two Counties Kart Club Championship is underway and a good start from Cleal. Bell goes with him, as does Fortune. Poor start from Harry Smithson there. Kevin O'Neill's been boxed in. Likewise Joey Foster as Steve Groves round the outside of the Haynes Loop. But it's Cleal in the lead and Bell and Fortune have tangled. They've touched bumpers. They've kept it all alright now, but Anthony Cleal has got a gap. That's Steve Groves and Kevin O'Neill side by side further back. And even further back, that's David Good and Alex Kemp going into battle, and Good's gone off. Taking a bit of a ride across the bumps, but he's going to get it back on the track and set off after the pack. But it's Cleal leading from Bell, Fortune, then there's a gap. And there's a big pack in behind. There's Ron Schoen on the tail of Alex Kemp further back. Now we're on board with Rudy Winslow Morton through the bus stop. He's been jumped off the line by Mitch Carpenter and they're both chasing Reese Reed. But at the end of the first lap, it's Cleal leading from Bell, Fortune, Groves, Smithson, Foster, O'Neill, Alexander, Hartshorn and Waldron. As that is Joey Foster up the inside of Harry Smithson, so that's a change for 5th. Kevin O'Neill looking on in behind. Alex Fortune looking to try and get onto the back bumper of Mike Bell and Steve Groves leading the pack behind. John Hartshorn defending from David Waldron. And it's Max Gunter, Alex Kemp and Ron Schoen in battle in behind as through the bus stop once again. Cleo leading after a good lap 1, and here's Joey Foster up the inside of Steve Groves up in midgets. Good move from Foster. Can Groves fight back as round climate they go, and down into Tollies. It's Cleo leading from Bell and Fortune. The top 3 starting to break away a little bit. New fastest lap from Bell. Foster up to 4th now. Ahead of Groves and Smithson. Then it's Alexander, O'Neill, Hartshorn, Waldron, Kemp, Gunter and Schoen. Ron Schoen being displayed as a novice on the timings because of a late entry putting him at the back of the grid. So he's going to have some work to do to make up for that in the final, as he's chasing Max Gunter, who is actually a novice. Now we're on board with Rudy Winslow Morton, and that is Mitch Carpenter in front, getting very sideways through Johnny's. Now we're back on board with Steve Groves, and up the inside this time is Harry Smithson. So Smithson making the move in midgets. Steve Groves looking to try and fight back down into climate. As back down the track, that's David Good recovering from his off, and Reese Reed already bridging the gap across. Mitch Carpenter and Rudy Winslow Morton tucked up tight behind each other as they go through midgets, and on the run now down to climate. Winslow Morton's got to look to try and crack Mitch Carpenter's defence and set off after Reese Reed. Reed, of course, that incredible performance in Heat 1, the odds-on favourite to win, but you can never count anyone out in karting, as there's the pack going down into Winger's Dip and into the bus stop. That is Steve Groves pressuring Harry Smithson, and further back John Hartshorn defending against David Waldron. In behind them it looks like Alex Kemp and Max Gunter as they're breaking away from Ron Schoen. Round Tollies once again. Cleo leads ahead of Bell, Fortune and Joey Foster has brought that gap right down against Alex Fortune. So they're going to head up and towards the Haynes Loop. John Hartshorn defending off of that group as well. Then comes Schoen, Reese Reed on the back of David Good almost now. As down the hill we go, there's Fortune and Foster still bumper to bumper. Smithson comes next out of Groves, Alexander and O'Neill, and David Waldron looking to the inside of John Hartshorn into Winger's Dip, and he's made the move. Hartshorn's going to run wide, and Alex Kemp's looking to get the run. But now up the hill towards midgets, that's Joey Foster getting the run on Alex Fortune for 3rd. He's made that move. Further back, Alex Kemp looking for the run against John Hartshorn. Over the curb in midgets, and Hartshorn's going to hold the place, but Joey Foster up to 3rd ahead of Alex Fortune. His next target is Mike Bell, as down through Tollies goes the pack. And round the Haynes Loop go the leaders. You can see there Joey Foster really starting to try and put a gap between him and Fortune, as now we hop on board with Rudy Winslow Morton still tucked up tight behind Mitch Carpenter and looking to the inside of the Haynes Loop. Nothing doing there, but Carpenter's going to wash wide. Winslow Morton's going to get up alongside, which is going to force Carpenter to go tight in contact. Off goes Winslow Morton. He's going to hold it through the grass, but he's got a lot of work to do to catch that back up now. And sure enough, he sets off up the track. Further ahead though, that's Max Gunter looking at attacking John Hartshorn as well. And Joey Foster's really brought that gap down to Mike Bell. Foster, fastest lap of the race, 43.7 on the last lap. Playing a 43.9 from Bell and a 44 flat from Cleo, so that gap is closing between Foster and the leader. There's Harry Smithson with Steve Groves still on his tail, Paul Alexander and Kevin O'Neill likewise down the hill. Then comes Waldron breaking away from Hartshorn. Max Gunter and Alex Kemp battling in behind. As up into midgets, it's Cleo leading. 1.5 seconds back to Mike Bell and Joey Foster. Kevin O'Neill on the tail of Paul Alexander there, the two drivers with the orange helmets. Then it's Max Gunter now on the tail of John Hartshorn. So Gunter has passed Alex Kemp this lap. Must have happened down into Winger's Dip. As round Tollies goes that pack. Alex Kemp looking to get the place back. As through down towards Winger's Dip goes Anthony Cleo. Joey Foster right on the back bumper of Mike Bell, both closing in a bit on Anthony Cleo that time by. As there's the gap, you can see it is coming down through the bus stop. And Joey Foster getting a big run through the bus stop against Mike Bell. He's going to pull out late into midgets and down the inside. Bell looking for a switch back on the run down towards climate, but it's not going to happen. Joey Foster up into 2nd spot. His next target now is Anthony Cleo, as across the line goes Cleo. Foster in 2nd, Bell still 3rd. Then it's a gap back to Fortune, Smithson, Groves, Alexander and O'Neill. Can Bell stick to the back of Joey Foster? as they go down the hill towards Windsors Dip once again. There's Kevin O'Neill, he's looking to close in against Paul Alexander. Further back, that's John Hartshorn, Max Gunter and Alex Kemp. Gunter looking to the outside of Hartshorn, and Reese Reed is caught Ron Schoen, so Reese Reed making strong progress, the junior leader. Gunter's going to back out of the move against Hartshorn into the bus stop. That's going to give Alex Kemp a chance to get right back on the bumper. And up the inside looks Max Gunter, and further back Reese Reed going for the move against Ron Schoen, and they're 3 wide ahead. Kevin O'Neill right up behind Paul Alexander now, but they were 3 wide further back. Hartshorn, Gunter and Kemp. Round Johnny's goes the battle for 4th. Harry Smithson looking to close in on Alex Fortune. Steve Groves likewise. And Kevin O'Neill with a strong lap. 43.9 for O'Neill, only the 4th driver this race into the 43s. And the other 3 are the leaders. Joey Foster meanwhile setting a new fastest lap of the race that previous time back. But there's O'Neill, he's closing in against Paul Alexander. Further back, that's Max Gunter, he's gotten ahead of Alex Kemp. Reese Reed comes next though, so John Hartshorn's lost some ground. Indeed he did, possibly through climate that last time by. He's battling now with Ron Schoen. And there's Rudy Winslow Morton, he's closing the gap to David Good after his off. But across the line goes Gunter with Alex Kemp, and now Reese Reed hot on his heels. Down into Windsors Dip goes the pack, as here's the lead. Anthony Cleal, you can see that gap coming down between Cleal and Foster. Foster leaving Mike Bell in his wake with 2 fastest laps in a row. Reese Reed now really getting stuck in, battling with Alex Kemp, looking to try and get up the inside of the number 64 into the bus stop, but thinking better of it. His race is not with these guys, so he can really afford to sit there for a while, but he's not going to. He's going to try and put the pressure on Kempy around the outside at midgets, looking to switch back underneath, and he may have got that move there. There's Rudy Winslow Morton on the back of David Good likewise, and Alex Kemp has held off Reese Reed. As across the line they go to start another lap. 2.5 minutes still on the clock. There's Rudy Winslow Morton on the back bumper of David Good, but in the background Joey Foster's got Anthony Cleal right in his sights, and Foster down the inside in the second part of midgets. Didn't look like it was going to pay off there as we're on board with Rudy Winslow Morton. That's Alex Kemp rejoining. So Alex Kemp's been off through Johnny's. Anthony Cleal has retained the lead though ahead of Joey Foster. Them going side by side has let Mike Bell close in, and that sounds like someone with an exhaust off. Not sure who that would be, but that's a distinctive sound of an exhaust failure, and that's Alex Kemp off. Something clearly not right with Alex Kemp's car. As he stopped there on the exit of the bus stop, that's going to put the yellow flags out. Get the cart to safety, Alex, as here come the leaders. They go up the hill towards midgets, and they're still bumper to bumper, Cleal and Foster, less than a tenth in it. Further back, Harry Smithson's all over the back of Alex Fortune, and Kevin O'Neill down the inside of Paul Alexander. That's for 7th spot. Kevin O'Neill moves ahead of the number 9 and covers him off through climate down towards Tully's, the final corner. Sure enough, Kevin O'Neill holds on. Further back, that is Ron Schoen all over the back of John Hartshorn. Mitch Carpenter getting stuck in as well there, the other junior. As round Johnny's goes the battle for 4th. Harry Smithson down the inside in Windsors Dip, so Smithson up to 4th. Alex Fortune fighting back though, he's going to move to the outside for the bus stop. He's going to brake late and go around Smithson. And for the lead up at midgets, Joey Foster challenging Anthony Cleal. So Fortune was overtaken but got Smithson back, and now it's 5 for 4th once again, the same as last month. As round the final corner goes Cleal. Foster almost touching him on the back bumper. Down into the Haynes loop, Joey Foster looking for the inside. Further back, on board with Kevin O'Neill, that's Steve Groves in front of us looking at Harry Smithson. Smithson all over the back of Alex Fortune as well as they go through Johnny's. Down the hill now towards Windsors Dip. Will anyone make a move? Doesn't look like it. Paul Alexander's tucked in on the back of this battle likewise. As through the bus stop go the leaders. There's the battle for 4th. 5 in a line. Good run from Smithson once again. Could be looking to the inside, as that's Kevin O'Neill to the inside of Steve Groves. Kevin O'Neill makes the move. Can Groves get back up alongside for climate? No, he can't. Good move from O'Neill. As that's the last lap board out. Joey Foster challenging Anthony Cleal now on the outside of the Haynes loop. And further back, Harry Smithson's not giving up the fight for 4th, but round Johnny's go the leaders. It's Cleo, Foster and Bell's back in it, so it's 3-way fight for the lead. They're going to run up through Anson's and up the hill towards the bus stop. Anthony Cleo has half a lap to go to hold the lead, but Joey Foster gets a better run through the bus stop. He's looked quicker through midgets all day, and Cleo covers the inside line. Foster's got nowhere to go. Bell looking in from behind as they go through Climate down towards Tully's, the final corner. Cleo's going to defend the inside line. Foster's going to set up for a run on exit, and who's going to get to the line first? It's going to be Cleo ahead of Foster and Bell. Good battle for the lead group, and now who's going to be 4th across the line? It's going to be Alex Fortune with Kevin O'Neill in 5th. Further back, Rudy Winslow Morton's caught Mitch Carpenter. Ron Schoen's attacking John Hartshorn in front. But this is big. Rudy Winslow Morton down the inside of Mitch Carpenter, and Reese Reed is out of the race, possibly with the exhaust problem. So Rudy Winslow Morton takes the lead of the juniors on the last half a lap. He's going to make the move around the outside of Ron Schoen in Tully's as well. So Rudy Winslow Morton with a strong finish for the end of this race. David Good going to round out the finisher, so a good run there from Winslow Morton to recover. After scrutineering and everything was said and done, Anthony Cleo declared the winner ahead of Joey Foster. Mike Bell in 3rd ahead of Alex Fortune, and Kevin O'Neill rounding out the top 5. Steve Grove 6th ahead of Paul Alexander, and Harry Smithson in 8th after a 5-second drop nose. David Waldron 9th ahead of Max Gunter and John Hartshorn, with Ron Schoen 12th ahead of Mitch Carpenter, the lead junior. David Good in 14th. Rudy Winslow Morton demoted to 15th due to a drop nose, and Reese Reed and Alex Kemp both unable to finish the race. Those will be in addition to the non-starts for Fred Powell, Tom Parker, Chris Underhill. In the NKRA, in the Two Counties Cadet Championship, Devon Giles would sweep the day with a class win. And in the junior standings, Sam Mitchell's going to hold the lead due to drop scores ahead of Reese Reed. Mitch Carpenter 3rd ahead of Rudy Winslow Morton, Jamie Bradfield, Ben Gillett and Jamie Dart making up the class. And in the senior standings, Anthony Cleo jumps to the top of the table. Mike Bell holds in 2nd and Joey Foster drops into 3rd. Kevin O'Neill 4th ahead of Paul Alexander, with Steve Groves, Harry Smithson, Chris Underhill, David Waldron and John Hartshorn making up the top 10. Rob Mortimer in behind ahead of Ron Schoen, David Good and Max Gunter, with Alex Kemp making up the top 15. Tom Parker in behind, followed by Mark Church, Chris Lord, Mark Cook and Kieran Quirk to complete the top 20. 2 rounds left to go for the seniors, so really anything can happen. The gaps are not very big at all. In the Blue Masters standings, Anthony Cleo leads the way ahead of Joey Foster. Kevin O'Neill in 3rd ahead of Paul Alexander and Steve Groves, with Chris Underhill 6th ahead of David Waldron, Rob Mortimer, John Hartshorn and Ron Schoen making up the top 10. David Good in 11th ahead of Alex Kemp, with Mark Church, Chris Lord and Alex Fortune with a strong performance on the day, jumping into 15th. And in the Blue Veteran standings, Anthony Cleo with another on the day victory ahead of Kevin O'Neill. Paul Alexander is 3rd ahead of Steve Groves and David Waldron. Chris Underhill is 6th ahead of Rob Mortimer, with John Hartshorn, Ron Schoen and David Good making up the top 10. They're going to be ahead of Chris Lord, Paul Dybel, Phil Shears, Robin Stones and Fred Powell up into 15th. And in the Blue Legends standings, it's Kevin O'Neill continuing his perfect season with another 0-pointer. Chris Underhill in 2nd, his nearest challenger, ahead of John Hartshorn, with Ron Schoen, David Good, Chris Lord, Robin Stones, Mark Cook, Mike Watts and Adrian Helps completing the Legends subclass. And in the Blue Top Weights, it's Ron Schoen leading the way after a perfect win on the day. Rob Mortimer slips to 2nd ahead of Tom Parker, with Phil Shears and Fred Powell making up the top 5. That's all for today from Forestedge Kart Club. Join us next time from Mansell Raceway in the penultimate round of the Two Counties Kart Club Championship. We will see you then. Goodbye.